Hey everybody, so today I'm going to be doing a thing on 9/11. Now this is based on my speech I did at school, so there'll be some stuff cut like me saying blah blah blah, this is my speech on 9/11, because well, I'm not doing a speech here, I'm reading this out to you as a video format. Now, if this is correctly done, it will probably be uploaded around September 11th. That or I'll probably just delete the video and reshoot it again, or something along those lines. I'm probably going to upload automatically because there's a lot of space. I need a lot more space on my phone because I'm shooting this on my phone, and I need more space to shoot other videos. So, yeah. Anywho, let's get started. I am fascinated with tragedies that have happened throughout history. For example, the sinking of the Titanic in April 14th, 1912, and the eruption that buried Pompeii in 79 AD. Yes, I'm reading off the cue cards now. Okay, cue card 1. For my speech, I chose 9/11. On September 11th, 2001, Flight 11 crashed into the North Tower of the World Trade Center at 8:50 a.m. And American Airlines Flight 175 crashed into the South Tower at 9:04 a.m. The South Tower collapsed at 10 a.m. 30 minutes later, the North Tower fell. The World Trade Center was located in the financial district of Manhattan, New York, in New York City. Building was completed on the iconic Twin Towers in 1973, and near the completion of their building, a tightrope walker who was a French guy named Philip Petit walked between the two towers and was later arrested but was let go if he would do a performance in Central Park for children. This was cut from my actual speech, but I'm adding stuff in that wasn't in there because this is a YouTube video, not 3 minutes for you to read out in front of my class. So yeah. They were the hub of the busy financial district. On 9/11, the World Trade Center became the target of a massive terrorist attack, which took the lives of almost 3,000 people. 19 Islamic terrorists associated with the Al Qaeda group and funded by Osama bin Laden hijacked 4 airplanes. 2 were flown into the Twin Towers, 1 into the Pentagon just outside Washington D.C., and the 4th crashed in a field near Pennsylvania. Okay. Yeah, this is all natural reading, so yeah, great effects. If I have great special effects, it's because I'm actually reading this right in front of you. I have not read this since about Monday. So yeah, the reasons given for the attacks were America's support of Israel and their involvement in the Gulf War. Some of the terrorists lived in the US for more than a year and even took flying lessons at American flight schools. 19 terrorists smuggled box cutters and knives through security at 3 airports on the East Coast, whose planes were bound for California on the West Coast. The planes were deliberately chosen because they would be loaded with the fuel for the long journey. This transformed the planes into missiles. American Airlines Flight 77 crashed into the west side of the Pentagon at 9:45 a.m., killing 125 inside the Pentagon, as well as the 64 people inside the plane. United Flight 93 was hijacked but had been delayed in taking off. The passengers learned all about the attacks in New York City from cell phone calls. The passengers challenged the 4 hijackers who crashed the plane into the ground in a field near Shanksville, western Pennsylvania, at 10:10 a.m. All 44 people aboard the plane died. 2,996 people were killed in the attacks on September 11, 2001. Another fact is that, well, it doesn't really make sense, but I'm making it how I want to. The fact is that the president at the time, George W. Bush Jr., was at an elementary school for children when the 9/11 attacks happened. Anywho, back to the speech. This includes the 19 terrorists and everyone aboard the 4 planes. Citizens from 78 countries died that day. A competition was held to select a permanent memorial to the victims of 9/11. The winning design was of 2 reflecting pools with waterfalls rushing down where the Twin Towers once stood. The names of all the victims are on the panels around the pools. The memorial was opened on September 11, 2011, the 10-year anniversary of the attacks. In 2009, Congress named September 11th a National Day of Remembrance. On May 2nd, 2011, Osama bin Laden was finally found and killed by U.S. forces in his lair in Pakistan. And now we get into the later parts. As a result of the attacks, many mediums had to be altered, many radios had to stop playing certain songs because it referenced 9/11, and films releasing in between late 2001 and 2002 were altered and or basically just completely changed due to those attacks. Some films kept shots of the Twin Towers, like, certain films and some films released with their shots. Movies like Zoolander, and one that I liked was Spider-Man, released in 2002, starring Tobey Maguire, Kirsten Dunst, Willem Dafoe, James Franco, and many more actors. Yeah, those are the only ones I remember so far. Oh yeah, Rosemary Harris, J.K. Simmons, and Clifford Robinson. Or Cliff Robinson, whatever. Well, if you do look hard enough behind in the film, if you in some scenes like Peter testing out his powers, or Green Goblin going in to kill him at the final battle scene on the bridge, and in the hospital, you can still see shots of the Twin Towers. A trailer for it was supposed to be released, but was delayed. Actually, no, it was cut. It was altered or cut and completely due to the fact that it was unrealistic, and it showed shots of the World Trade Center. It showed basically a heist broke out, and so they robbed a bank in order for a helicopter to take off. Spider-Man webs it between the Twin Towers. Due to 9/11, it was cut. It's not that hard to find the trailer. You can easily find it on YouTube and anywhere else. The trailer, it's just the start of the trailer. The rest of the trailer is just pretty much saying I want to take you on a roller coaster. Was a song saying I want to take you on a roller coaster. That being the film. Another thing that was changed was another video games. Video games also had to be altered due to the fact of 9/11. One game cover had to be altered due to the Twin Towers exploding in front of one of the characters. It showed a character with glasses, and one of the lenses reflective of the Twin Towers exploding. So for this, they completely alter the cover. And another Spider-Man fact, Spider-Man 2 Enter Electro was a sequel to the original game Spider-Man. Spider-Man was released in 2000 and developed by Neversoft, distributed by Activision, and released in 2000. It took some of the voice cast from the Spider-Man Unlimited and animated series, with Rino Romano and many more actors reprising their iconic roles as Spider-Man, Venom, and all the other characters in this world. The sequel in 2001 was titled Spider-Man 2 Enter Electro, and the final battle scene was on the popular, you guessed it, and it's the reason why it's in this entire video, the World Trade Center. It was featured as the background for the entire battle, but due to the power crisis going on around then, and due to 9/11, it was altered and changed out with where they put a bridge gap in between the two towers, took down one of the power poles, and left it on one tower, changed the tiling of the entire buildings to show you that it wasn't there. They also changed him when he died. He would scream, ah, like, ah, ah. Instead, it was just him saying, oh, well, this is perfect. Or just great. Something quippy and snappy. To not make him sound like the screaming people who sadly jumped off their deaths. Some of the building got set fire to, so some people did jump off the building to their deaths, screaming, ah. Where else can you scream? You can't scream Jacoby or something. Yeah, that was a terrible name drop. Just never mind. The point is that, yeah, after this they had to alter it and redo the entire thing redo the entire final battle scene and rename the level. Some discs though did change. Some discs did, however, change their version of the game, and some versions of it did get pressed out and released in the stores, and some people did acquire it, and some of them ended up on eBay. It's not very hard version of it to find. It's a very exclusive version of the game, but yeah, if you find it and you type in it's basically the same, but if you type in the cheat code Aunt May and you go to the bottom level of the level selection, and it says best laid plans instead of, and if it says on top of the world instead of best laid plans, you have the 9/11 version. If it says on top of the world, because that's what Spider-Man says when he goes to fight Electro in the 9/11 version. In the post 9/11 version, he won't even say anything, because in the pre 9/11 version, he says, "Where would you go to be on top of the world? I'm coming for you, Electro. Your power play ends tonight." And it shows the start of the Twin Towers and them fighting on it, and it ends pretty much the same way, with him saying he saved Manhattan, but they altered it for him saying he saved the city. Thor instead saved the city to not reference Manhattan, which is where the attacks happened, and removed the Twin Towers. And it doesn't say on top of the world; it just says best laid plans. I would have loved to see this cut of the game. I think the Twin Towers cut was much more better and would have been a much more cooler representation of two iconic buildings. But, well, it's 9/11 and a lot of people are grieving then. And to be realistically clear, I was not born back then. Telling by me, I do not look like I'm 20 years old. If I was born back then, I'd be in my 20s. And my mother would be much more younger than that, so, yeah. But nonetheless, yep, that's just this. It's a speech. It's more than, I made it more than 3 minutes long about 10 minutes and 3 minutes. I don't know. I can't exactly read the minute thing that's on top of this. Yeah, when I'm shooting it, there's a little time thingy that has a red dot when it's recording, and a white little button over here. But that's not on there. All you can see from my room, what I can see, is a red white dot. What you guys can see is just me holding on my cue cards like an idiot. But yeah, nonetheless, that's that. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope you guys enjoyed seeing this content. Now, I did do 2 speeches on previous different subjects. I did do one on Transformers, which was my speech from last year, and Marvel Comics. Yes, I will be doing Marvel related content. So yeah. Make sure to like, subscribe, and click the notification bell so you don't miss any content. Well, depending what version you're on, I don't really know, but yeah. Until then, enjoy watching this video and listen to watch me play with the Simon's Web. Depressing. Bunch of flashing lights. Well, that's all I got. Yeah, I just wasted about 3 minutes of time. But if you enjoyed me doing Simon